AITA for calling the cops after my mom dumped my siblings on my doorstep and vanished? This might sound like something out of a made-for-TV movie, but I swear every word is true. I, 25F, live alone in a small 2-bedroom apartment. I work full-time, I pay my bills on time, and I keep to myself. I've worked really hard to build a stable life after growing up in a, let's say, chaotic household. My mom? She's 47, unpredictable, and not what I'd call maternal. She had me when she was 21, then went on to have 3 more kids, my half-siblings, who are currently 12, 9, and 6. She's bounced between jobs, boyfriends, towns, and hair colors for as long as I can remember. Responsibility was never her thing. Growing up, I basically raised myself and sometimes even my siblings until I could finally move out at 18 and never look back. So last month, I get a call out of the blue. It's Mom. She sounds rushed, flustered, breathless. Hey sweetie, she says, like we're on speaking terms. Can you please take the kids just for the weekend? I have to go out of town for a thing, and no one else can help. I immediately ask what kind of thing. She dodges it. Just keeps repeating that it's important and temporary and just 2 nights. Says she'll bring snacks, clothes, everything. Begs me. I hadn't even seen my siblings in months, but I missed them, especially the little one, who still calls me sissy like we never grew apart. So, against my better judgment, I said yes. Friday morning, she pulls up in her beat-up SUV, barely puts the car in park, and practically pushes the kids out the door. They're confused. No hugs. No eye contact. She doesn't come inside. I ask her, wait, where are you even going? She waves me off and says, I'll text you. Then she peels out of the driveway like she's late for a drug deal. And that was the last I saw of her. So Sunday rolls around. No word from my mom. I'd sent 4 texts. Left 2 voicemails. No read receipts. No running late. Nothing. Just radio silence. Meanwhile, I'm here trying to manage 3 kids, all of them asking where mommy is, when she's coming to get them, and why I don't know the answer. The youngest one, my 6-year-old half-brother, started crying at bedtime, saying he forgot his bedtime dinosaur. The middle one wet the bed Saturday night and tried to hide it because mom gets mad when I do that. I spent my Sunday cleaning up messes, cooking food they'd actually eat, and pretending I wasn't in full-on panic mode. At first, I tried to rationalize it. Maybe her phone died. Maybe something happened. Maybe she's just being flaky, again. But by Monday morning, when the kids had to stay home from school because I didn't have any of their records, still no call, and she'd now missed work, which I later found out she'd already quit, I knew something was seriously wrong or seriously intentional. That's when I called the cops. Not to report her for abandonment, yet. I just wanted to know if they could do a wellness check, or tell me if she'd been in an accident, or anything. I gave them her name, her last known address, the fact that she had minor children in my care and hadn't responded in 3 days. They took it seriously. A social worker was looped in within 24 hours. And once they checked into it, they found out she'd left the state. She'd hopped on a Greyhound bus to Nevada. No return ticket. No emergency. No lost phone. She just left. I felt sick. Worse than that, I felt used. She dumped her kids on me like a weekend errand, vanished, and hoped I'd either quietly take over, or be too afraid of blowing up the family to call anyone. But I wasn't going to play that game. The social worker asked if I was willing to take temporary guardianship. I said no. Not because I don't love them, God, I love them. But I work full-time. I don't have the space, the legal authority, the resources, or the emotional energy to raise 3 kids that aren't even legally mine. That should have never been my responsibility. And that's when they opened a case. The CPS case was opened by Wednesday. A temporary placement plan was in motion. My siblings were still with me, but now under official supervision, and I was working with the social worker to transition them into a proper foster arrangement or kinship care if anyone else in the family stepped up. Spoiler alert, no one did. That's when the backlash started. First came Aunt Denise, my mom's older sister and the unofficial mouthpiece of all things keep it in the family. She called me in full meltdown mode the second she heard. You called the cops on your own mother? No, I said. I called because she abandoned 3 kids at my door and disappeared. She was probably overwhelmed. You know how she gets. Yeah. I know exactly how she gets. I've been covering for her since I was 11. Denise wasn't done. She launched into this monologue about how blood is thicker than water and how I should have just held things down until she figured it out. I asked her if she wanted to come pick the kids up. Silence. I wasn't surprised. What did surprise me? My mom finally texted. 5 days after vanishing. Wow. Can't believe you'd try to take my kids away. You just made everything harder. You happy now? No apology. No explanation. Just straight up victim mode. I didn't respond. What was there to say? She left. She lied. She put her own children in an unsafe situation and was now mad at me for not playing along. The worst part? The kids heard the grown-ups talking. My sister, 9 years old, asked me, "Are we in trouble because mommy left us here?" That one wrecked me. I sat her down and said, "You're not in trouble. You didn't do anything wrong. None of this is your fault." And I meant it. Because the only people who should feel ashamed are the ones who looked at 3 scared kids and chose silence over action. The custody hearing was set for the following week. Fast-tracked because the kids were minors, had no stable guardian, and, according to CPS, were technically abandoned. I showed up in business casual with a folder full of emails, texts, screenshots, and timestamps. My mom? She strolled in 30 minutes late, wearing sunglasses indoors, clutching a reusable Starbucks cup like it was a microphone, and she was about to do stand-up. No lawyer. No documents. No shame. She sat across from me and had the audacity to wave. The social worker gave me a look like, "Brace yourself." When the judge finally called the case and asked my mom to explain where she'd been for the last 9 days, she said, dead serious, "I needed time to focus on me. I was having a mental health crisis, and my oldest daughter said she'd take care of things." No doctor's note. No documentation. No phone call to anyone. She just assumed that dumping 3 kids on my doorstep like an Amazon return was an acceptable solution. The judge was silent for a beat, then asked, "Did you inform your daughter of your intentions to leave the state?" My mom blinked. I told her I needed space. To go to another state without ensuring the care of your children is legally covered, the judge said, is not space. It's abandonment. And just like that, the tone of the entire room changed. I watched my mom deflate in real time. She tried to talk over the judge. She tried to spin it, to say I'd always been dramatic and loved making her look bad. But the court didn't care about her image. They cared about 3 scared children, left without explanation, routines, or legal guardianship, while their mother went off the grid. The judge granted temporary guardianship to CPS, with the option for a kinship placement, which, again, no one else in our family volunteered for. I couldn't do it full-time, and I said so on record, which broke my heart but was the truth. The judge looked right at me and said, "You did the right thing. You acted when others didn't. That's not betrayal, that's protection." My mom didn't look at me once after that. She walked out of the courtroom without saying a word. The aftermath. The kids were eventually placed with a wonderful foster family that lives close by. I visit them every week. I've started the process of becoming a formal respite caregiver so I can be a bigger part of their lives without becoming their legal guardian. And my mom? She still sends the occasional text. Mostly guilt trips. Mostly ignored. So, AITA for calling the cops? No. I was the only one who picked up the phone. And if you ever find yourself being shamed for doing what's right instead of what's comfortable, just remember, silence protects abusers. But action? Protects the innocent.